Imagine a world without Google, without books, and without a single safety net. If you got lost in a jungle today, how long would you survive? 2 days? 3? Most of us can't even navigate a new city without GPS. We rely on a massive, invisible web of collective human knowledge just to stay alive. But thousands of years ago, an average ancient human had to store an entire encyclopedia inside their own brain. They had to know hundreds of plants, track animals by their faintest footprints, read the weather in the wind, and engineer tools out of raw stone. For decades, we've looked back at our ancestors with a sense of pity. We call them primitive. We think because they didn't have smartphones, they must have been less capable. But modern evolutionary biology and archaeology are uncovering a reality that is completely opposite. Our brains are actually shrinking. The average human brain today is about 10% smaller than it was 20,000 years ago. This means the smartest ancient human who ever lived might have possessed a level of raw, fluid intelligence, memory, and adaptability that would completely overshadow the smartest minds of our modern world. To understand this mind-bending reality, we will break down this video into 4 distinct chapters, where the final chapter reveals the unsettling future of human intelligence. Chapter 1. When you picture an ancient human, what do you see? A slouching, dirty caveman grunting around the fire, barely surviving. This is the image popular culture gave us. We look at our towering skyscrapers, our medical breakthroughs, and our space rockets, and we assume we are the peak of human evolution. We confuse the complexity of our technology with the complexity of our individual minds. But look closer at your everyday life. You wake up, press a button for coffee, drive a car you don't know how to build, and do a hyper-specialized job, like filling out spreadsheets or coding a single page of a website. If the power grid shuts down tomorrow, most of us don't even know how to filter clean water. Our ancestors didn't have the luxury of specialization. A single individual had to be a botanist, a navigator, a hunter, a weaponsmith, and a doctor all at once. Every single day was an ultimate test of survival, where a single cognitive error meant instant death. This hyper-demanding lifestyle shaped a brain that was highly agile, incredibly sharp, and physically larger than ours. But if they were so smart, why didn't they build the internet? The answer lies in a hidden trap that we fell into thousands of years ago. Chapter 2. Around 10,000 years ago, everything changed. We discovered agriculture. We stopped running after wild animals and started settling down in villages, growing crops and domesticating animals. This is universally taught as the greatest achievement of mankind, but biologically, it triggered a strange phenomenon. When you domesticate a wild animal, like turning a wolf into a dog, their brain size shrinks. Why? Because they no longer need to hunt, defend themselves, or navigate complex environments. The environment becomes safe, predictable, and managed. The exact same thing happened to us. Agriculture allowed us to create societies where an individual didn't need to know everything to survive. For the first time, you could just be a farmer, or just a potter, or just a soldier. The collective society became incredibly powerful, but the individual human became protected. Scientists call this the self-domestication syndrome. Because we created a safe bubble, the intense evolutionary pressure to keep a massive, energy-hungry brain active disappeared. Our brains started shedding weight, cutting down areas responsible for raw survival instincts, spatial awareness, and acute sensory perception. We outsourced our survival to the tribe. Chapter 3. This brings us to the present day, where this downsizing of the individual mind has gone into absolute overdrive. Think about it. We have transitioned from outsourcing our physical labor to outsourcing our deepest cognitive functions. You no longer need to remember phone numbers. Your contacts app does it. You don't need to remember directions. GPS maps it out. You don't even need to critically analyze information or draft an email. Algorithms and artificial intelligence can do it for you in seconds. We are living through an era of extreme cognitive luxury. But this luxury comes with a heavy price. Every time we outsource a mental task, the neural pathways in our brain responsible for that task weaken. Our attention spans are fragmenting, our deep focus is disappearing, and our ability to solve complex, unstructured problems without digital assistance is fading. The ancient human had a mind like a Swiss army knife, sharp, versatile, and completely self-reliant. Our modern minds are becoming more like a highly specialized component of a giant machine. We are brilliant as a collective species, but remarkably vulnerable as individuals. If you took the smartest ancient human from 30,000 years ago and dropped them into a modern university, they wouldn't just adapt. Their raw brain power, pattern recognition, and sensory awareness might completely outperform the average modern student. They lived in a world where intelligence was measured by the ability to read nature and survive reality. We live in a world where intelligence is often measured by how well we can navigate artificial systems, screens, and bureaucracies. We have traded individual brilliance for collective comfort. We have built a world so smart that we no longer need to be smart to live in it. This leaves us with a dark, uncomfortable question as we look toward the future. As technology becomes infinitely more intelligent, more autonomous, and more capable every single day, what exactly happens to the human mind when it no longer has anything left to solve?